All right, Nick and Andy, AC Milan against Liverpool in the Champions League to kick off the new league stage format. This is going to be a fun one, isn't it? I mean, two famous teams, they squared off in finals and big games galore over the years at the San Siro. I mean, Nick, this just conjures up so many wonderful memories from big European nights with these two hugely successful teams. What are you looking forward to in this one, mate?
Well, I'm looking forward to getting a look at AC Milan, who have had a few changes, and signed Pavlovic, who's supposed to be a fantastic center back. I think this is a good-looking team that can play with anybody, but also going away. And with all due respect to Liverpool, I think we've all noted the total control they've had over their opponents, and with a little bit of respect to Manchester United as well. How about going away into an environment like this and controlling a game? That's something I will be watching just very, very closely, because they have been in control of everything they've done under Arne Slot.
Why is it so much harder to control a game than it is to overrun a game the way that Liverpool used to be able to?
Less thinking? I don't know. Yeah,
you get momentum, I guess, and the field, it tilts one direction and they can't get the ball. But yeah, that's an interesting point, because to play with the composure the way that they have in those first three games, like that's been the thing that, we know these guys are good technically and they can pass the ball around and they got good touch. We know these things. But to have the mentality and the confidence and the understanding of the combination play and how to play out and where everybody's going to be the way that they have just so seamlessly and effectively the first three games has been really impressive. And that's going to be tested, I think, at the San Siro.
Yeah, it is. And I was just about to say that, Andy. Arne Slot, obviously, fantastic, perfect start for him in the Premier League. Yeah. But it is only 3 games. I think now we're going to learn a lot about this Liverpool team is when these big tests do arrive, and when maybe they go a goal behind, or they make a big mistake from playing out like they are doing a lot more under him than they did under Jurgen Klopp. How did this group of players respond and react? And we're going to learn a lot about them. We know a lot about them already. There's some very experienced players, obviously Van Dijk, Robertson, Alisson, Salah. Throughout this team, we know that they are top quality and have won everything that there is to win. But I feel like they're hungry to prove themselves again. Like, okay, we can do this. Yeah. We can play a different style. We can add an extra string to our bow. Nick, you mentioned there Milan, a lot of changes for them. Obviously, Fonseca's come in. Haven't had a great start to Serie A so far, but I'm looking at one man, obviously our focus, Christian Pulisic, from a US men's national team perspective. Kind of likes playing against Liverpool, right? You remember over the years, there's been a lot of goals and assists and game-changing moments for him. I don't know. Sometimes just a player against a certain team just seems to fit, and almost, he was linked with Liverpool a few times over the years. It's almost like a bit, I'll show you what you're missing from not signing me. So I don't know. He's a key player for them, though, right? He's one of their main mans. Had a great season in his debut season for Milan last season. So hopefully he can keep it going.
He's a no asterisk, no concession statement star. He is a star on one of the biggest teams in the world. And you'd be saying that if he wasn't American, it just wouldn't be as fun to say it. He's a competitor. And, over the years, I think we've looked at him, and as we watch him grow into his role, it was always, well, can he be, Donovan and Dempsey? I would get asked these questions when I'd go on radio shows. Is he already the best player? And it's like, no, it's not. But he's somewhere between them, right? Like, he has the brash swagger of a Dempsey and the technical brilliance of a Donovan. And I just think we're looking at, I don't think it's irrational to say he is the best player or the most famous player in United States men's national team history. And he is the key to what they do, along with Rafael Leao.
Yeah, and some of the names, Rafael Leao, Tammy Abraham's come in, Okafor, Loftus-Cheek, Chukwueze, Pulisic, Reinders in midfield. They have got an array of attacking talents, and I think now it's just about Fonseca just finding the right combination and balance. It's still very, very early in his tenure.
Yeah, I think they're going to test Liverpool in a way we've not really seen them tested yet. Like you're talking about some real attacking talent there, and a willingness and a desire to put it on display. And we, against a team like Liverpool, most teams aren't going to have that mindset going into a game, especially in the Champions League. Now, the fact that it's at home probably helps a little bit, but this will be, I think, probably the first proper test of Slot's, I don't know, style and defensively how they're going to handle games against some of the also top teams, and I'll be a little curious to see if he deviates a little bit from what he's done so far. I feel like they could be a little bit more open and be a little bit more dangerous against teams that want to do the same against them. If they look to sit, not that they're sitting back defensively, but if they're looking to control the game with so much possession against teams of AC Milan and Manchester City and Arsenal's caliber as the season goes on, those games might be a bit of a struggle for them, because the modern press, especially at the top of the game, is just it's absolutely incredible these days.
And talking about absolutely incredible, that is Milan's start to this Champions League group stage, by the way. They have Liverpool, then they have Bayer Leverkusen away, then they have Club Brugge at home, and then they have Real Madrid away. So 3 of their first 4 games are incredibly tough, and almost puts a lot of pressure on them at home here to get something against Liverpool. So they're going to really have to come out flying out of the traps in this one. And quickly, before we give our predictions, obviously this is the first time we've spoken since Mohamed Salah had those comments, Nick, after he played a starring role for Liverpool's win against Man United at Old Trafford. And just your thoughts on that, because I think obviously we all knew this was rumbling in the background of Trent with Van Dijk, with Salah, and Van Dijk's already come out and kind of said, yeah, I probably will sign a contract. We've got to figure it out. But Salah was very different, right? And kind of like, oh, I've got a year, probably just treating this as my last year. No one from the club's talked to me, and just really put it out there publicly in the open. And it was pretty surprising that A, he did that, but B, nobody from Liverpool has actually approached him so far.
Yeah, shocked, not surprising is how I would put it. Because when it happened, I was like, I sent you guys a message immediately, because I was on that game, and I said, have we heard this? Is this new? Am I writing an article on this? Because yeah, that it was stunning. But then you remember this is kind of what he did last time. You know, he kind of said, hey, people are sniffing around and I want to stay here, but they haven't really, told me what I want yet. And I also think it's a really interesting opportunity for Liverpool as a club and Slot as a manager to ink up Van Dijk and Salah, and to say, hey, it wasn't all about Klopp. These guys want to stay. There's somebody new here and they like it. But yeah, I think what's interesting is we are going to know for as long as they are spending money in Saudi, he is going to have a market. And so I think they can go to him with a pretty big contract right now and be like, yeah, when this stops working out, we know there are at least 2 big leagues, one in the US and one in the Middle East, that are going to be interested in use. But yeah, I was very surprised.
Yeah, because he kind of hinted at it just before like the Man United game, like, oh, it's just my last season, that's how I'm treating it. And it's almost like, oh, I'm not really thinking about it, but we'll get to it at some point. But it was very pointed after the Man United game, like, hey, I'm kind of upset about this. Like, no one's speaking to me. So, yeah, definitely put the ball in Liverpool's court in terms of these negotiations moving forward. Andy, moving forward, score prediction for this one, mate?
2-1 Milan.
Ooh, bit of an upset there, I'd say. Nick, what are you going with?
I'm Mr. Draw this week, 1-1.
All right. I'm going 2-1 to Liverpool. I think it's going to be tough, but I feel like the extra quality of just Salah in particular in this kind of form, I feel like he's going to get the job done in Milan at the San Siro. So head over to Pro Soccer Talk on NBCSports.com. We'll keep you updated of all the Champions League coverage throughout this season, especially for this big one. Milan against Liverpool, 2 European giants. Should be an absolute beauty.
Hi there, I'm Rebecca Lowe, studio host of NBC's coverage of the Premier League. Don't forget to hit subscribe to watch more videos all season long. And if you want even more Premier League content, from original series to live matches, head over to Peacock.